Paul McCartney reflects in the trailer for the new documentary Man on the Run that the Beatles had once defined his entire existence, and that when the band came to an end, he genuinely believed his days of writing music were over. History, of course, unfolded very differently. Following the breakup of the Beatles, McCartney went on to form Wings with his wife, Linda, a celebrated photographer who made history as the first woman to shoot a Rolling Stone cover, alongside former Moody Blues member Denny Laine and drummer Denny Seiwell. A new documentary directed by Morgan Neville delves into McCartney's post-Beatles evolution, while also highlighting the enduring partnership and romance between Paul and Linda. In the film's trailer, McCartney admits that he struggled with adulthood and felt overwhelmed and deeply low during that transitional period of his life. However, he credits Linda as a stabilizing and life-changing presence who helped him through those dark moments. The couple first crossed paths in May 1967 and married quietly nearly 2 years later. Their marriage lasted 29 years, ending only with Linda's death from breast cancer on April 17, 1998. The documentary traces the journey of both Wings and the McCartneys, from the modest reception of their debut album Wildlife to the massive success of their third release, Band on the Run. McCartney explains that the formation of Wings was driven by a desire for freedom, and that the band eventually gave them a sense of arrival and creative fulfillment. McCartney also addresses the complex dynamic between himself and John Lennon as the Beatles were coming apart. He suggests that the two were gradually growing in different directions, embarking on separate paths while still sharing a lifelong bond. Despite their disagreements and conflicts, McCartney emphasizes that their affection for one another never disappeared. The documentary also promises never-before-seen footage of Wings while touring, as well as unreleased recordings. Neville, whose previous work includes the Oscar-winning 20 Feet from Stardom, Keith Richards, Under the Influence, and Bono and The Edge, a sort of homecoming with Dave Letterman, serves as both director and producer. He is joined by Chloe Simmons and Megan Walsh for Tremolo, Scott Roger and Ben Chappell for MPL, and Michelle Anthony and David Blackman representing Polygram Entertainment. In an earlier statement, Anthony described the film as an exploration of how an artist redefines himself after leaving the most successful band in history, a challenge that had never existed before the Beatles' breakup. She noted that at its core, the documentary is a love story between Linda and Paul, capturing how McCartney rediscovered his artistic identity and entered one of the most creatively rich phases of his career.